The Earth is now a wasteland and is destroyed for good. How did this happen? I am currently facing a court trial in front of the entire world that could get me banned. Because this Earth server thinks I am a war criminal. But I didn't even do anything. Taking over multiple continents, assault, homicide. I mean, it's just basically nothing. War crimes, possession of an illegal weapon. Like, I don't even deserve it. I don't know why they're doing it. Using that illegal weapon to kill the dragon, stealing the dragon egg, and claiming the entire end dimension. Good thing I have a plan to win this court case. Right?
I'm here to challenge Swagistan's claim of the end, which we believe should be open and free to all people.
This is the owner, opening his prosecution about my crimes. Why? Because 2 weeks ago, I claimed the end spawn platform and held the world hostage. But that's not why I'm in court. You see, after the admins used their power to teleport everyone out of my trap, the owner himself warned me about doing silly, goofy things on the server. So I did more silly, goofy things on the server. I went straight back to the end, and instead of claiming just spawn, this time I took the entire island. But oh no, it doesn't end there. Because when you claim something, nobody can build on it. So the server members were angry that my country, Swagistan, owned the entire end. So obviously I apologized to everyone and gave them permission to build. Psych! I doubled down and covered all the gateways with trapdoors so nobody could even leave the island. Swagistan owned the entire dimension, which is why the owner is now suing me. Don't worry, here's my plan to win. See, the court would have jurors from the SMP who would decide the outcome of the case, and since Mr. Owner publicly sued me in front of the entire server, I now had 7 days to get some jurors on my side. The problem with that is, number one, I don't know who the hell the jurors are going to be, and number two, none of the members on the server really like me. I was super confused at this point. I didn't know what I needed to do, so before everything, my first step, my master plan, was to get a legal team that would support me. So I introduced to you my lawyers. My lawyer's two-step plan to make me win this defense went as follows. See, we needed to absolve me of the crime of claiming the end by getting jurors to be on our side. So Don suggested that I spend the next couple of days sucking up the members of the server. So through the next few days, me and my allies were especially friendly to people to get on their good side, letting them come to our base, use our farms, give them anything they wanted, and we were generally nice human beings. But not because it was morally right, but because we could exploit it for my defense. You see, my other lawyer, Reduns, would then form a group called the Semi-United Nations and call a server-wide meeting in Geneva, Switzerland that would get people to vote for the Geneva Convention, a document that we wrote which would form a beautiful allyship between everyone, which would benefit all the members of the server and would also legalize my claiming of the end, making me fully innocent. And because we were so nice to people this week, they would all democratically vote yes. We also added a few more things to sweeten the deal.
You can have Don's bathwater if you want. I don't care.
This was perfect because not only did I have evidence of my innocence through the document, but everyone on the server was still technically allied with me, meaning any one of these members who would become jurors would have to declare me innocent, right? But there was a problem with all of this. I'd overlooked that the admins and owner had also come to the SUN meeting, which meant the owner saw me and my lawyers do all of this and gain all this power. So the next day I was told by the owner that there would be no jurors, but 2 independently selected judges from outside the server who would make the final decision on my case. Great. This is bad because I just spent the whole week sucking up to people for nothing, and even worse, I had no idea who these judges would even be. There are 5 days left for the court case. Me and my final lawyer, Mark Bormetius, decided to go to the end because of a very annoying reason. You see, I logged on to see that the admins had blown up my land in the end with 2.4 million TNT. For what? I didn't really know. I wanted to confront the owner in the end itself, so Mark and I respawned the dragon and defeated it pretty quickly. But that was just enough to piss off the owner, who came to the end and was like, "What are you guys doing?" So I told him, "You just destroyed my land in the end with TNT." He then proceeded to kill my ally, Mark. This was a moment I realized something. I have power. He tries me and I crit him. He then proceeds to run away and shoot me with a barrage of flaming arrows, which is supposed to be his strongest attack. He then proceeds to run away, come back with the barrage of arrows and miss every single one. He then jumps away with the special boots. He then tries shooting me with a spam of arrows, but I calmly tell him that it is doing no damage to me at all. He keeps jumping around to avoid confronting me, not knowing that I have spring boots, so I come back to attack him. I'm rapidly gaining on him and he's extremely scared at this point. I'm lagging too hard to get the hits, but I keep following him. I keep tasting him. I've taken away his advantage and keep gaining on him. I get a couple hits on. All that's left is the killing blow on this guy and I can finish it here and now. But he keeps running away. He keeps running away and jumps into the void, takes out an elytra and flies away. He then makes the worst mistake of his life by going into chat and telling me, "You mad bro," because he thought he was safe, but he didn't know that I also had an elytra, so I chased him down across the end, rapidly gaining on the guy that ruined my crap, killed my ally, and destroyed my land. This guy was just a few hits away from death, and I could feel it. I could feel the Grim Reaper's bony hands dragging him away already, because all he could do now was run away. Run away from me forever, but I would follow him across any terrain. I would fly right behind him. All I needed to get was those few hits. He spiraled into the void to try and attempt to scare me. He tried scaring me by going underneath the end island, but oh no, I wasn't scared. All I needed was one crit, and this guy would be sent to the nether realm. Until he finally disappeared, teleported back to spawn, and ran away from me. All he could say now was, try to beat me in court.
Yeah, so you have felt like it was a bit of an oppression from Swagistan, correct?
Yes.
His plan in court is to call upon witnesses in the server to show that I was a bad person, and so far, his strategy was working really well. Like, it came to a point where even the judges started to dislike me, and even though my lawyers tried to pull it back with some really good points, bringing up how the owner blew up the end, killed us with illegal weapons, and so on, we were still losing. So now there were 2 more rounds of questioning in the court until the judges came with a final verdict. And as I sat through this round, it seemed like the owner was very good at convincing people that I'm evil. But all this got me thinking about backup plans. You see, Africa was completely owned by the admin, but the courthouse we were in just so happened to be conveniently in Djibouti, Africa, just south of which in Madagascar lied one of 2 gunpowder farms on the server. See, throughout the month, my allies have not only been lawyers, but also gunpowder farmers. So you see, earlier today, I finally got 2 shulker boxes finalized before the court case. And in shulker box number 1 was my master backup plan. But as for right now, the court case was not going well. Like, I looked really bad, on top of which me losing my temper did not help.
Okay.
ashswag looks like a Rubik's Cube.
Hold on. Hold me back. As a last-ditch attempt to save face, I decided to get up on stage and prove myself with something big. Your Honor, just read the terms of these carefully. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was my ace in the hole. I had just given both the judges a copy of the Geneva Convention, which was signed just a couple of days earlier, if you remember. During the SUN meeting, the server voted to make the convention law, but what they failed to notice was that there was a clause allowing me to claim any piece of land as long as it was neutral territory, meaning for this case, I would be 100% innocent because all the land that I claimed was from neutral land because the end was not previously claimed by anyone else, and I was simply exercising my right as a human being to place trapdoors on my land. That's all I did. Boom, I had them dead to rights, and this was undisputable proof that nothing I did in the end was illegal. And as the round went on, me and my lawyers were convinced that I was going to win the case. So then it was finally time. Me, the defense, versus the owner's prosecution. It all came down to this, and the judges stated their decision.
This goes in the favor of the prosecution.
Oh,
Yeah, baby!
You see, 2 days ago I had visited the courthouse alone and set up shulker box number 1 all around the building. That's right, these poor people were standing on months of hatred and they didn't even know it. But before that happened, the judges said my punishment.
The sentence is you must unclaim the end.
At this moment, all my claims in the end were removed because of the law. But now that the law had failed me, shulker box number 1 was my final stand. Well, this server has once again proved that it is hopeless. You see, on that day as me and Mark rigged the court with all that TNT, it was only when we finished that we realized that we were being followed by admins in spectator mode and creative mode. That meant shulker box number 1 was not a reliable plan, but I always had shulker box number 2. So at the end of the great Earth SMP court case, when I was declared guilty, this button would blow up the entirety of Northeast Africa. But before they blow up, you might ask, what about shulker box number 2? Well, ladies and gentlemen, shulker box number 2 was a statement. Well, this server has once again proved that it is hopeless. Allow me to show you hope.
Why?
Come on, boys.
Your Honor!
Get out, out boys, out. There will never be honor in this server. There will never ever be honor on this server, no matter how hard you try. As long as this server exists, Swagistan will own it. There is no law, there is no court that can ever change that. Goodbye, everyone.
This is the end of Swagistan, ashswag! This means war!